All right. Welcome to the YouTube Live, where I will pop on periodically to see if there's any questions from my subscribers that they feel that they want to address some specific issues. Now, caveat is that any advice that I give or recommendations that I make are, not to override any professional help or services that you have. I will tend to try to stay away from advice and basically ask questions to see if we can elicit something within you that might be important or relevant to you. And so this is kind of the form in which we can do that. So, I was talking earlier about striving towards a specific objective, and I have a book coming up, and I don't know what the title of that book is going to be yet, but it's something like Sanity or Authentic by Design or something like that is going to have exercises in that book to ask ourselves questions about what are we actually wanting to accomplish. When I bring people through my Authentic by Design workshop, here's what happens. Is it almost like there is, we function on a certain, let's say, range of depth of function. So, we see what we see as we're kind of going through our life. We notice what we notice, and we're at kind of like this bandwidth of information. And then I bring people into a group, into the Authentic by Design workshop. And we start asking questions that pull the system out of the existing bandwidth. And we pull them out of that so that they can have a greater context and vision for their life. They temporarily dissociate from who they think they are, because essentially who you think you are right now, generally speaking, is a combination of what you think other people expect of you. And the fact that you're intertwining your life, your being, with other people's expectations of you, which I'm not saying that you can't avoid. It's pretty dang tough. But the point is when you're looking at an authentic life, you need to give yourself room out of your daily bandwidth of energy and information, and you need to create a space for yourself and ask new questions that's going to pull you out of your current delusions of your current life, which we all have them. And in that kind of delusional state, as you pull yourself up and you ask different questions, all of a sudden you can begin to see what this soul really wants to achieve, accomplish in life. And I mean, I don't know what is more important than that. If you can identify or actually remember or reflect upon, maybe your life is exactly where it needs to be right now. But oftentimes what I find is that people don't appreciate what they're actually creating in their life, and they think that they're off on tangents and that life is supposed to look different. So even that of giving yourself room and giving yourself space to ask good questions, to be able to pull yourself out of your autopilot day-to-day life and see, what you're actually wanting to really strive towards, what you're wanting to move towards, what life is calling you in any particular directions. So the Authentic by Design, the book that I'm considering doing, well, not considering doing, just publishing, that would be my second book. And it'll be called something like Sanity or Authentic by Design or some sort of like letting go process. Yeah, it should be good. We also work on in the book that I'm finishing up. We're focusing on your self-worth, because even if you have a vision and an objective in which you're trying to focus on something, it doesn't mean that you feel like you have the worthiness to actually go and get it done and go and do it. And that's where people run into, how come I'm procrastinating? How come I'm not getting things done that I need to get done? And And oftentimes, A, the vision's just not that big. But B is like, do you feel actual worthy of moving towards your objectives? And oftentimes, what ends up tainting that, which is what we cover as also in another exercise in the book, is your relationship with success and failure. So much hesitation for us comes from our interpretation of what we see as failure, what we interpret. We will tend to forget our successes. That's first and foremost. We forget all the wild ways that we're actually successful. And in forgetting about our success, we tend to put our own brakes on, because instead of seeing where we've been wildly successful, we'll tend to focus on the wounds of where we think we were failing. And that will totally put a brake on in your body and your brain and your nervous system to take steps to move forward in your life. So, yeah, this is the path of personal development and self-maximization. Number one, know what your vision is, know what you're actually trying to accomplish, know your objective. Number two, do you feel like you have the worthiness to actually go after what you're saying that you want? Number three, what is your relationship with success and failure? Because that's important to look at. And if you're hyper focusing on where you screwed up or what you perceive as a screw up, which there isn't, but if you perceive it, you're forgetting about your successes in your life. So that would be third. Do you have the identity that actually is going to pull off said objective? Do you have the identity? Do you have the tools? So I was speaking with someone the other day, and they said, I said, okay, well, who's the person that's going to actually accomplish these things with your objective? And what qualities or traits do you think you're going to need? Well, I need confidence, I need discipline, I need focus. Those were like the top three. And so right away, she doesn't even have the identity that would actually pursue to reach the objective. So she doesn't have the worth, she doesn't have the identity, she thinks she's partly a failure. And those are all brakes that are put on, not allowing you to achieve and go after what you want in your life. So we're covering that in the book. And then the real last thing also is the embodiment practices that I teach to be in the body, to liberate energy, to become present with your own system. Embodiment is the fifth essential ingredient in any type of achievement and transformation process. So that's important, to be able to be embodied, and not just a skull reverberating data, but actually be in the body, being able to breathe, being able to move tensions around, being able to let go of various tensions. Those things are really important as well. So anyways, I wanted to kind of outline for you the 5 kind of stages, or 5 ways of transformation that you need to look at. And if you're trying to achieve something that's beyond your current level of comfort, because you're achieving whatever you need to achieve right now. So that's obviously not difficult for you, and probably 80% of it now is on autopilot. So to be really intentional, to pull yourself out of your existing bandwidth, then you're going to need to look at something different. And you got to go through the steps, as I mentioned. So step 1, vision and know your objective. Step 2 is, do you have the self-worth to accomplish it? Number 3, do you have the identity to actually be able to pull that off? Number 4, what's your relationship with success and failure? And have you let go actually of what you perceive as the failures of the past? And number 5, do you have an embodied sense? Can you be in your body to take and be able to take action? So those are them. And anyways, have a beautiful, beautiful day. Take care.